Big news today. We know it's on Capitol Hill. There's a lot going on today. We will talk about. I'll give you the lead into this, and then we'll kind of give some stories with this. So Robinhood CEO, his name is Vlad Tenev. He is reportedly staying at a hotel right now instead of going home after receiving death threats. That's pretty serious. So Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev is staying at a hotel because of the backlash following the GameStop trading rally in late January. It was a couple weeks ago. Robinhood restricted trading of GameStop shares on January 28th following a 2,000% surge in the share price driven by retail investors. Robinhood users, including members of Wall Street Bets Forum on Reddit, who cheered GameStop's rally, accused the firm of unfairly manipulating free market trading. Some of the backlash was violent. Tenev received death threats and has avoided going home in the past few days. The police in Menlo Park, California, which is basically just outside Silicon Valley, they were told last week that a handful of protesters had thrown dog feces, which is dog shit, at Robinhood's headquarters and saw through a statue on the property. So people are running up on Robinhood's headquarters. Tenev is set to testify in a congressional hearing on Thursday, which is today. It could be happening any second, about the firm's decision to restrict trading. And let me give you a little more insight here. I printed out this article right here. So here are some of the players that are going to be testifying on Capitol Hill today. So the leaders of Robinhood, Vlad, Melvin Capital, which is a hedge fund, Reddit, because we just talked about Reddit. They received $3 billion of new funding. Citadel, they will all testify, as well as this is sort of like a Reddit trading star, Roaring Kitty, all about last month's GameStop trading turmoil. Here's a couple quotes, and then I'm going to get it over to you guys. So we think congressional hearing will focus on understanding exactly what occurred during the week of service disruptions, making sure that all activity was appropriate, and also determining how to avoid a similar event in the future. The prevailing narrative was that a band of Reddit-inspired small traders rose up against Wall Street by buying GameStop, forcing a short squeeze by professional hedge fund managers who were forced to cover their negative bets or risk catastrophic losses. Robinhood, which is a millennial favorite stock trading, they made the unpopular decision to restrict trading of certain securities, obviously GameStop being one. And then Tenev, this is what he had to say. I want to be clear. Any allegation that Robinhood acted to help hedge funds or any other special interest to the detriment of our customers is absolutely false and marketing distorting rhetoric. That's the word from Vlad Tenev. A lot of drama going on. This is going on Capitol Hill today. Yeah. Tom, I know you got some strong feelings on this.
Well, we'll see. The heat's going to be on him. I don't believe that quote, what he just said. I think the hedge funds were protected, clearly. There is real anger. I mean, there are some really, really ticked off people. David Portnoy is, the founder of Barstool. I mean, he wants him out.
Calling for his head.
Yeah, he's one of the, he founded this thing. He's a co-founder of Robinhood. And
Vlad.
Yeah, and it was, it's a popular, a highly thought of app until a few weeks ago, and now it's all gone in the toilet. I think his days are numbered. I think they got to get him out. I mean, if
you think he's done?
Well, how does he stay? That's what I say. Because as a CEO, you want to exude some strength and some confidence and some project that you know what you're doing and that you can control a crisis. And that just hasn't happened. I don't think it's a great look when you say you're hiding out in hotels and you're the CEO. Now, I've never had death threats, so I don't know what I would do. So I'm not going to try to act like I'm in his shoes. But death threats get thrown out there a lot. There's a difference between a death threat where you're in true danger and someone's going to come to your house and kill you, or someone posting something really stupid on social media. Does that count as a death threat? I mean,
it does.
It does. I know in the definition, but is it? How legit is it? I don't know.
You're saying there's different levels to it.
Well, kind of. I would.
Bro, we should rip his head off.
In a sense, you want to. It's better to be safe than sorry.
True, but then how about saying something like this? I've got around-the-clock security around me because I'm still working and I'm trying to fix this mess for the people that feel like they, that they weren't handled. This wasn't handled fairly.
And this is a quote from our friend Vlad, and then we'll flip it over to Kai. He says, as soon as the emails went out talking about what happened with Robinhood, the conspiracy theories started coming. So my phone was blowing up. How could you do this? How could you be on the side of the hedge funds, which he says he's not? Tenev, who is 33 years old, respect to at least, young dudes making things happen, is reportedly being coached for the hearing by Robinhood's chief legal officer, Dan Gallagher, a former SEC commissioner who also coached none other than Mark Zuckerberg on his congressional hearing.
Right. Well, you need to be coached. You can't go in front of these guys without being prepared.
Yeah, what's the quote? Kai?
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Piss poor performance.
You know, I think it'll be a fun thing to watch today. I think it'll be really interesting. I mean, you go into these saying, is it going to be a dog and pony show? Because a lot of times the senators like to huff and puff and nothing gets done, right? They pull you in front of Congress. They have a congressional hearing. They act all tough, but then nothing really gets done. This might be a little different today. It'll be interesting to see how he handles the bright lights of this type of scrutiny. And, you know, I'll say this about the guy. I know nothing really about him, okay? I just kind of evaluate by, you know, what he's doing since this crisis started, and I don't think it's been stellar, number one. But he probably got into this business with good intentions if you name your company Robinhood, right? So, you know, it's not like he's, you know, when you set something up like that, it's almost like you're not in favor of the hedge funds.
Give to the poor.
But the hedge funds know what they're doing on all these transactions, and they're gonna manipulate this thing to their advantage. So it'll be interesting. He's been under the radar and under the you know, the public profile for so long, but today it's the opposite of that, and he could get exposed, or he could come across as someone that can save it.
The dude's in a hard place, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I used the quote from what's the song from Reservoir Dogs? Well, a little green bag, and he's like, "Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you." He's getting his funding from big Wall Street firms, hedge funds, you know, investment firms like that. But his customers are the millennial retail traders, like the guys on Reddit's, who are. So I mean, you're really in a hard place right there. So he has to obviously appeal to where he's getting his money, clearly, because he can't like just say, "Oh, F you guys," because then maybe the business gets screwed. But he obviously can't screw over his actual customer base. He's in a tough spot. But Kai, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I think if you think of it, and again, this is reportedly staying at a hotel. So it's not confirmed that he's staying at the Marriott Resort, whatever. So for all we know, this could be fake news. Like, we know there's more than that.
You don't think he's... Well,
no, who knows?
You think he's, like, faking that he's staying at a hotel?
Reportedly.
To draw sympathy?
Who knows? This might be somebody
the old
saying
reportedly.
He's a coward. This might say that he's a coward. However...
I'd think he's staying at a hotel, bro. I mean, who...
I mean, if he probably has security still.
I don't buy the hotel thing.
You don't think he's staying?
Okay, look, I stay at a lot of hotels. I don't want Vlad next to me and the people trying to kill him. Okay,
you're at the Marriott right now.
Yeah, I think it's more dangerous if you go to a hotel. You're putting everybody else in jeopardy. Yeah, Vlad, stay away from my hotels.
However, I do think that Tom has a point that the people that are the traders, like the day traders, and a lot of these people that joined the Wall Street bets. I see them as the people that are gamers. They're the people that are kind of like trolls, where they're keyboard warriors, like people call them, where they throw a lot of
keyboard warriors. Yeah, exactly.
Where they throw a lot of comments.
What's the famous Drake quote? He goes, "Trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers."
Yeah, something like that.
No, it's that. Okay, perfect. It's that.
Boom.
Used to, you know, back in the day, you'd roll up on somebody, whatever.
Yeah.
Now
it's just,
I don't like you. I'm the toughest guy on YouTube. I'll show you what's going on, buddy.
Boy.
He's a soy boy. Yeah.
So
we had to go there. Okay.
So I think a lot of these people that are just accusations. Now, however, you got to take them serious to an extent of making sure you're protected and you're taking proper precautions. But I do also think that this will fade. It's a storm, and it's obviously weathering up now.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass.
Well, here, you brought up that the gamification of this.
Yeah.
Here's some of the. Here's a quote by Representative James Comer from Kentucky. He's a Republican. He told CNBC he's been proud to see a company like Robinhood emerge, leveling the playfield for retail investors. So he's sort of on the side of Robinhood. He says, however, Comer. Here's a quote. So Robinhood may be a glorification of the gamification of investments. If you want an exciting video interface, you should go to GameStop and buy a video game. Don't go to Robinhood to buy GameStop. Is that essentially what you're saying here? Is that it's just if you want to play video games, go play video games. Kai's a great video gamer, but if you want to trading,
no, I'd say
investing is supposed to be boring. Is essentially what he's trying to say.
I don't necessarily. That's not what I'm pointing at. What I'm pointing at is the people that are doing this and that are part of the Wall Street bets and a part of all this movement of let's short GameStop or let's increase GameStop. I think these are the type of people that would also be more prone to be playing video games or talking trash over the internet. Or just
plus
themselves.
They're in forums where you
exactly.
can get a whole
that's the whole point of the Reddit.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I want to know from our audience: are you guys on the side of Robinhood, or are you guys doing anything with Robinhood? Are you investing? Is where are you at with this? Are you pro Vlad? I love the comment section over here. Kai, would you manage that?
I'll keep an eye
Paul,
on
what's
it.
so funny?
Hey, you know,
Am I getting crushed over here?
you know,
You know, you got some supporters. You have some hate. You know, it's all over the
Trigger
place.
fingers turn to Twitter fingers, buddy.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. Is
Bunch of keyboard warriors in this chat.
keyboard warriors, and we love it. If they're not talking about you, you're not doing
Hey,
something
Adam,
right.
The first time I heard about this,
Yep.
you know, because this was so big a few weeks ago, it was just crazy. There's a convenience store where I live, and I would go in there, and the guy that works there would go, I don't know why he decided to tell me this, but hey, man, hey, I bought some AMC stock, and I'm going, God, you know, that's interesting, and that's all I thought at the
just
time.
randomly
I walk
told
out
you
of there,
that?
and I'm going, man, that's really cool that you did that. I mean,
Yeah.
that you found the time. I find it a little bit odd. This is before I knew anything about what was going on. I find it a little bit odd, you know, with movie theaters being down, but maybe he's thinking that they're going to come back or he's got some information. And then the next day I'd go in there and he told me about more stock and this and that. And then I talked to him. I saw him on Sunday. I said, hey, man, I was trying to reach you. I wanted to find out how things went for you. What did you do? He goes, he bought it at 6. It was as low as 6, right? AMC, I think he got. He said he made $30,000 doing this thing.
Wow.
He's kept it in there. He hasn't been able to get it out yet, or he's chosen not to. Maybe he's going to like keep it in there and move
On
it somewhere
AMC
else.
specifically?
Yeah, well, I think he may have had some GameStop too. But
Mario, would
he
you pull
told
up
me he made 30
GameStop
grand.
stock? Let's see what this has to say. Because GameStop lost
I guess
90%
my point
of
is
its value.
My point is he's not the guy you would expect to be some guy that would be making a small fortune, you know, investing.
This guy that works at the gas station? What
Well,
is he?
at a convenience store.
store?
And here he had that opportunity through Robinhood. It's the type of person it caters to, but he got his information from Reddit.
Yeah.
I mean, they were getting their marching orders, and they just
that
did
what he
this
said,
thing.
though?
Well, I mean, it clearly, yeah.
Okay,
When I
gotcha.
asked him about it, but that's how they all did it. You know, that's
No,
where the form
100%.
was.
It's
and
collective. It's collective, and I think that it is what Tom's saying, that it's not these typical people that would. And then obviously a situation like this, there isn't a realistic return that this happens all the time. Like this is
the
one
frustrating thing would
situation.
be is if you made money and they wouldn't let you get it out, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and that's where the real anger would they stop the
They
trading.
would only let you sell. They wouldn't let you buy. Is that what was going on?
Yes,
Robinhood?
there was a period on Robinhood where they shut down buying, and they would only let you sell. Now Robinhood claims that that's because they needed enough cash on reserve, because from my understanding how it works is that there's a time when Robinhood, when you buy the app on Robinhood, is obviously just kind of the interface, and then on the back end they then buy it from somebody else that kind of does it on the back end. So they were saying that they didn't have enough money to support the trades that were being bought bought, and that's why they had to do another round of funding to get in more money, so they'd be able to have the pool to cover their costs.
The funny part of the story is watching those hedge fund managers who everybody thought was so smart get killed.
Yeah, and I think,
Yeah.
and obviously, I see that a lot of the people are saying Main Street versus Wall Street, and that Main Street won and stuff like that. And I agree. And for hedge funds now, obviously, they're trying to claim that this was all bad, and they're going after the Main Street people, but in a sense, they lost. Like they just need to take the L and stop crying.
The biggest
and
winners
yeah.
were the hedge funds that bailed out the other hedge funds.
Yes.
Steve Cohen, the new owner of the Mets,
Yep.
he came to the rescue of a couple of them. And could you imagine the terms on those? That's like
You
getting
think
a
he
hard
was the
money
big
loan,
winner here?
probably. Oh yeah. To bail him out in a matter of days and pump a couple billion into their
yeah.
account so they don't get destroyed or
Good point.
completely
right there.
liquidated.
Let's talk about this GameStop stock.
Can you go with Max,
Yeah,
Mario?
go Max, Mario.
Yeah,
I mean, look at that surge
But
right there.
even there, if you
Go-
look at it, it's now at 45. Go before the peak. See where it was at before the peak.
Just do 6 months, Mario.
Yeah, you're looking
Hit
at
6 months.
at that
look at
point.
that.
You're still looking at what it went from 45 to, and before that it was at what 5, 10. Yeah, so that's a 4x return since the beginning of January.
I'd love
Even
to
if-
see how many senators made money on this. I bet they did. I bet there's a few.
Well, speaking of senators, let's talk about what, she's not in the news a lot these days, but she's going to go take her mantle today. Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, a longstanding critic of Wall Street, is calling for a ban of forced arbitration, which essentially prevents consumers from going to court if they are wronged by a company or product because they agreed to the terms of service. Interesting. She's not sort of defending the retail traders out there. Here's what she said. Robinhood promised to democratize trading, but hid information about its prerogative to change the rules by cutting off trades without notice, and about customers' inability to access the courts if they believe they've been cheated behind dozens of pages of legalese, Warren said in a statement. What is not clear from Robinhood's response to my questions is the full extent of Robinhood's ties, here it is, Kai, to giant hedge funds and market makers. I'm going to keep pushing regulators to use the full range of their regulatory tools to ensure the fair operation of our markets, particularly for small investors. So she is on the side of the small investors, because that initial sentence threw me off. Where you at with this, Kai?
I was confused what you were reading.
Yeah, I say next story.
Yeah, I'm
You're moving on to the next story. Okay.
She's anti-capitalism. We should ignore everything she says.
So we're not on the side.
Yeah.
So here's what we're doing.
There you go.
Nice try, Elizabeth Warren. You're out.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.